Welcome to the Surly Horns podcast. This is season 4, episode 2, and we are exhausted and ready to be vulgar, fat motherfuckers for the fans. RGB3, how you doing?
I'm good. It's been a long couple weeks, folks. We've missed y'all. Obviously, we're in season 4. We thought we were going to get back on track with, season 4, episode 1. Like, oh, we'll get back to our weekly deal. We got this rolling. We did not. I don't know if y'all know this, but life has been kind of fucking crazy. The good news is we're back now.
There may be some of you that follow the real lives of your podcast hosts.
We stay
they
busy.
got busy. They got busy for reasons.
Yep.
And well, now things have calmed down enough for us to really come and talk about some of our favorite things, which include the Longhorns, maybe a little bit of Schadenfreude at some people that are out there, some teams that are out there, and maybe a little bit of fucking Christmas cheer. And
ho ho ho, bitches! Ho ho ho, motherfuckers! And speaking of spreading some cheer, I'm announcing it here. By the time this podcast drops, you will also see it posted on the Surly board. It turns out, even though my real life job is shipping, shipping is still expensive even at cost. So to combat this, any Burn Ends member that's listening to this, which you should all be Burn Ends members if you're listening to this, otherwise you're a broke bitch. You hopefully, if you're a Flats or a Points member, you've got a cup and a magnet waiting for you. We've had them in for a couple weeks. They've been sitting in my fucking office, taking up a shit ton of room. I'm ready to disperse these bad boys. So I'm going to be doing a happy hour featuring your lovely podcast hosts, maybe 2 podcast hosts, depending on the date. And if Matt can get down from Austin to Houston. But we're going to be doing a happy hour either Thursday, the 6th of January or Thursday, the 13th of January at Pinkerton's Barbecue, obviously. Shout out Grant. We will have cups, we will have shirts, we will have koozies to buy. So if you
and we may
magnets
or may not have a special Longhorn guest, depending on what we can.
Yes, we are working on a very special Longhorn guest, not a Burn End member, but maybe an honorary Burn End member is what we call him. Somebody that you know, somebody you love, somebody that might be a badass motherfucker. So stay tuned for that. Details come in. Details will be on the board. Go vote for the date, either the 6th or the 13th, but that's happening. It's going to be dollar beers at or dollar shiners at Pinkerton's on that Thursday, whichever Thursday we pick. We'll probably have a bar tab. We'll do it big. Come out, meet your fellow, your podcast hosts, and get your fucking cups out of my goddamn office. It takes up a lot of fucking room. Y'all don't realize
it does. I've seen pictures.
Boxes. It is. I mean, because each cup. Everybody's seen these. They're nice ass Arctic cups. I haven't posted a picture yet. I will post a picture in the thread. They're really nice Arctic cups, and they're in a box with a bunch of other boxes. So I have 4 gigantic boxes just taking up half of my office, and I need them out. So
and
show up.
The magnets are very, very cool and nice and very strong. So people that don't like bumper stickers, you're in luck. You don't have to worry about residue on your car. Anytime you come to like a tailgate event or you're around people who you're comfortable with, slap it on. Whenever you want it to be a clean look, you take it off. It's an easy deal.
And you get to advertise the Burn Ends. More people are going to sign up, or, stick it on your beer fridge. Your buddies will walk by and, hey, grab a Modelo out of the fridge and say, hey, what's that? Oh, let me tell you, buddy. Would you like to be a bag man? I have a platform for you, sir.
I want to be a bag man. That was supposed to be I want to be a snowman in 2, but I don't know. I can't sing.
Music video incoming.
Yeah, we are going to be doing a music video for season 2 of the Burn Ends. But other exciting things for people who are not currently Burn Ends members, We did delay the Burnt Ends dinner due to,
life,
missing a fucking bowl game.
Yeah.
So it made things really complicated. Nobody wanted to fucking stay in town. It got shitty with the holidays.
Cade ran out of eligibility.
We just pushed out. We're going to do that sometime in either late January or early February. You will have an opportunity to get your Burnt Ends cups at that dinner as well. And that's all going to be happening. So there is still a really good reason to join the Burnt Ends, especially at the points level before next season. There's also other really good reasons. If you haven't heard all of the podcasts that they're not podcasts, they're like post-game wrap-ups with each of the tight ends this season. Each one of the tight ends did a post-game wrap-up of a different game that we chose. They're all about 10 minutes long, and you really get a good feel for how these guys see the game and how they prepare. Obviously, Jared Wiley's gone. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But Jared Wiley's still Burnt End, baby, until August. So if Jared, he doesn't get paid if he just decides not to do all the other things. But Jared's still on the hook for an AMA and a podcast appearance because he never did the podcast and the Burnt Ends dinner. So the AMA is only going to be for members. So you can't ask questions. You can't see the answers if you don't pay at least $10 a month to the Burnt Ends.
And you're broke.
And you can't listen to the post-game wrap-ups. The podcast, free for all, as usual. We're going to give it to the Surly Horns podcast listener nation. That's just something that's gratis. But we don't talk football. We talk maybe about their lives. So if you heard the last podcast with Tope Amade, it'll be a lot more like that.
We talked Superman basically the entire time. So superheroes.
Yeah. And the only way to get Burnt Ends swag, if you like the t-shirts, if you like the cups, if you like the magnets, you can't buy them unless you're a Burnt End. I will not sell them to you.
And hey, and for anybody thinking, oh man, I should be a Burnt End. I'm not one yet, but I really want to go meet the Tom Herman looking motherfucker that I listen to on a podcast. Guess what? If you show me that you are not a Burnt Ends member at the happy hour, but you become a Burnt Ends member, I'll buy you a beer. So you will receive a $1 shiner from your boy for signing up. You're already
that's
making
like money. $119 a year instead of $120. So
you're welcome.
So let's dive in to one of the funniest fucking things that I've ever seen happen. And that, like, the context for this is like predates, just barely, but predates the Surly Horns podcast with me and RGB3 hosting. So right before we started hosting, the University of Texas was rumored to be hiring or attempting to hire a certain Coach Urban Meyer.
Yeah. Oh boy, we dodged a bullet like fucking Neo in the Matrix. Like that was we are all the way leaning back right now, like dodging bullets. Dude, so I know why it failed. Is because his and I know why he didn't come here. I know why he didn't come to Texas. It's because his personality needs to ensure that whoever he's coaching can't just fucking leave because he's a dickhead. His ego is so big, he doesn't understand that the reason why he didn't come to Texas is because of the transfer portal. I know that now. His shit just wouldn't fly. Kids would just fucking leave like they did for Tom Herman. Like, oh, you're a dickhead? Like, well, I'm just going to go somewhere where, I'm going to go to play for Lincoln Riley, who's just not a giant dickhead. It's that fucking easy. Well, guess what, buddy? The NFL's worse. The NFL is 100 times worse than the fucking transfer portal. Because not only can those motherfuckers just leave, they're millionaires. Do you think kicking your fucking kicker in the leg is gonna
kicking the kicker? Oh man,
kicker is gonna and then the not taking the flight home and then getting grinded on in your fucking bar. What are you thinking?
I mean, there was a lot that happened in Jacksonville, and none of it involved winning, and none of it involved improvement. And Urban Meyer, everybody has said, oh, he's the greatest coach of all time. He has
LOL.
nothing left to prove in college, and that's why he went to the NFL. And now that he's been unceremoniously fired at midnight, by the way, yeah. On like a random fucking, like I don't Tuesday. Even know. It was like a Tuesday. Yeah. It was like midnight on a Tuesday. They were like, we're fucking done with you. Fired for cause. No fucking payout. He's the fastest NFL coach to ever be fired. He's the worst, fastest coach ever fired. He's historically bad and probably will remain historically bad at least until he's dead, for sure.
Because Bobby Petrino set the standard when he left the Falcons to go to Arkansas. Bobby Petrino set the standard, but he got 4 wins. They left at the exact same game. So Urban was fired. Bobby Petrino just fucking deuced out and left. But Urban only got 2 wins with a generational number 1 overall pick quarterback and a really good running back. I mean, he lost to the Texans twice.
Who he benched. Because who knows? Maybe he was mouthing off to coach. Who fucking knows? But you do not bench in the NFL. You don't bench your best player, even if they have the worst attitude. Even if they're a crazy person. Hello, Antonio Brown. You don't fucking bench your best player. Ever. You don't. That's not how the NFL works. That's not how any of this works. And so now the NFL has this weird way of airing out like all of your dirty laundry. And so I think people knew, right? They suspected, but he was able to massage the media and get away with certain things as plausible, but never really just put out in the open that he was a piece of shit. Now that his shit has been put on blast, there are some people who still believe that, oh, he could just walk into any college job he wants. He's not toxic. He's not radioactive like Art Briles. No, this motherfucker's like Art Briles. No one will hire him in college.
No. Well, I mean, he's going to fuck off back to broadcasting 100%. He's going to take a year off. I need to be with my family. I need to get with my life straight. I need to, it's toxic. His career.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know that there's many broadcasting people who want that smoke, right? They're all worried about hashtag Me Too and
true. But I mean, he just got grinded on a little bit. He just got he might have fingered a butthole. I mean,
Bob Stoops is doing a real good job, and Bob Stoops, instead of getting grinded on by chicks and failing in the NFL, at least the league that he was going to coach in crumbled and just went away. And Bob Stoops, he's inducted to the Hall of Fame, and then Lincoln Riley leaves in the middle of the night. He picks up the pieces, has this graceful transition of power to Brent Venables as the new OU coach.
Brent Venables. Have we laughed about that yet? Have we laughed about... We have not had a chance to laugh about Brent Venables. And trust me, if Brent Venables was their number 1 pick, it would have been announced the day after Lincoln Riley fucking left. They got told no twice by 2 pretty large and substantial names that I'm sure you've heard. And well, fuck, I'll just tell you, I don't care. They got told no by Matt Rule and Aranda. Both of them. They got told to stuff it. So fuck you, OU. You got told no twice, bitch. And you settled for Brent Venables. This fucking
I don't know
guy.
how.
Never been a head coach.
Dave Aranda he's either a genius or a very stupid man. That man. He won the Big 12 championship. That's great. Good for him. Awesome. Time to leave.
Yeah.
Time to leave. Time to leave Baylor.
I thought he would have been the LSU coach for sure. I mean, it was such a good fit.
It made more sense than Brian fucking Kelly.
Hey, my family
who has now since just proven that he is a fucking idiot.
My family, that was fucking great. That's okay. So, I'm in the red flag business, and you need to see a couple red flags. There's a number one, my family, where you're faking an accent in your introduction at a halftime game. Number two is that fucking Colin Baton Rouge, where he's fucking doing this little like jig. So when I initially clicked on the video, I thought he was dancing to like a rap video. Like, I didn't have sound on when I saw it, and I was like, okay, well, he's just an awkward white guy that doesn't know how to fucking dance. That's cool. Whatever. I get it. But he's sitting there, and it's it's a country song, and he's like trying to get down with it. It's like, my quarterback, like, or got my coach or some shit. They're throwing up the
I don't know what the hell.
Oh.
He's run everybody off. He ran like a legendary strength and conditioning coach off. He's running weird things that are not broken at LSU.
Corey Raymond, Mickey Joseph, and Kevin Falk should be on any staff in America, let alone LSU.
It's real weird what he's doing there, and it's also super strange. So I guess the quarterback went in the portal and then decided to stay. The other one left and is going to Texas A&M, which we'll talk about. Right. I mean, number one recruiting class in the nation, right? Super obvious that you fucking literally just paid players that you were in head-to-head battles with like it wasn't just the head-to-heads with Texas, guys. It was the head-to-heads with Georgia, the head-to-heads with Alabama. They straight just paid players.
Just bought
and
the number one.
They were 8-4, and well, now they're 8 and forfeit. Because
that should be the title of the podcast right there.
Literally, Calzada fucking hated them so much that he was like, I'm not waiting until the bowl game. Fuck you guys.
Hey, his Instagram post, you can all S my D.
And then we have the draft declarations, opt-outs. It's like that team is they needed that number one recruiting class in the nation because they had just a whole mass exodus of talent, and it was like the good kind, not the kind that's like a addition by subtraction. Like, these are guys that they really would have loved to keep in any situation, and then they've lost all of their fucking coaches. Like something's going on over there that is some fuckery is about.
Well, right? It's all about they're hiring these fucking hired guns is what it is. If a player is getting paid to go to your school, the second that money dries up and is no longer financially beneficial for them to be there, they will leave. They will go to the best financial avenue for them. And that's what they should expect. They are all hired guns that they're bringing. And go look at how many kids that they got in Texas. I think it's like 50% of their class was in Texas. And it's because they're going nationally for like, oh, can I buy you? Cool. Well, you want to come to College fucking Station, Texas? It's a great place. Trust me.
But it's not just that. Some fuckery is afoot, not just from the really obvious nature of their dealings with these players, but the people who are doing these deals and dropping these bags are also just like, I don't even like, we were so obvious about it that we like can't stay
there. It's a mass.
It's weird. It's really weird for everyone to leave. The offensive line coach got taken by USC. Their director of recruiting or football operations, somebody who was like the bag man, infrastructure guy, pieced out and went to Oregon to help them, I guess, rebuild the bag program. He came from Georgia and was dropping all kinds of bags. Everybody knows that Georgia was buying players. So some shit, some fuckery is afoot. And that now their team isn't playing a fucking bowl game. And this isn't some like, oh shucks, like we just can't play because something. You can play if you want. You just have to be able to field a fucking team. It doesn't need to be however many scholarship. That's an out, right? You don't have to play a game if you have so many scholarship athletes out. You could field a team of non-scholarship players and some scholarship players and still go.
This is
$5.8 million.
This is the university. This is the team that has prided themselves on the 12th man and the walk-on since fucking Hitler rose to power, before interracial marriage was legal. They have prided themselves on the 12th man, the 12th man, the 12th man, and now, buddy, it's time for the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, the 16th man to go ahead and start, sizing up them pads. But no, instead they chickened out because Jimbo Fisher didn't want a fucking fifth loss. And any Aggie that's ever going to listen to this, just know fucking this. In your fucking heart, you know exactly what this is. Oh, we had COVID. Oh, we had opt-outs. Oh, we had, people declaring, oh, we only had 38 scholarship players. Fuck you. You had to start the fucking walk-on freshman quarterback because you're shitty at roster management. You hire these hired fucking gun players, and now you're crying because you knew Wake Forest was going to wax that fucking ass. Wake Forest was going to come out and wax that ass.
Is the athletic department decision to walk away from that amount of money is that has to piss the rest of the conference. Like that's bullshit. It's trash. That's a substantial amount of revenue.
Well, I mean, they paid more for their recruiting class than the $5.8 million that they would have received in the bowl game. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for but who knows? Maybe the way that this goes is because they opted out. I don't know. Like, I haven't read the SEC bylaws or anything, but maybe because they opted out, they don't get the rev share of the rest of the bowl games.
Hey, but shout out
Rutgers. Fair.
That would be fair. Shout out Rutgers getting to go to the Gator Bowl now. What the fuck?
The Gator Bowl.
Rutgers is going to their best bowl ever of all time, because A&M just deuced out, and they're probably going to get waxed. And will I lay $100 on Rutgers like plus 36.5 against Wake Forest? Probably. I don't know what the line would be, but that sounds fair.
Yeah, I had some people from Texas A&M texting me and stuff the day of National Signing Day, and they were like, "Oh yeah, got that running back in the class, so Of course, it's time for Stan Drayton to leave. Day of. How shitty of that coach to just like keep that until the day of and then leave.
Sure, buddy.
And it's like, hey, have you looked at your house that's like burning down?
Get your mans, bro. Get your mans.
Yeah. Now they did something even worse. They fucking let their offensive line coach, who apparently pitched continuity. I mean, he's a good coach, right? He's not a bad coach. So they had that going for him. They don't anymore. Now they have all these great offensive linemen with no great offensive line coach. And great offensive line coach is not Jimbo Fisher's specialty. It's not a Jimbo Fisher. He's not Mike Sherman. Right? This isn't the Texas A&M that's Mike Sherman that's going to get a bunch of first rounders and like have an NFL caliber offensive line developed by the head coach.
Florida State. That was his downfall at Florida State. He started recruiting cubes, giant fucking cubes, and he'd play these guards and centers at tackle and think it was going to suffice. But you know what my favorite thing about their entire recruiting class is their defensive coordinator left before National Signing Day. They experienced zero attrition of that class, and they actually added a defensive 5-star. So if that tells you anything, NCAA, who I'm sure is listening to this podcast, you should look into that. If their defensive coordinator, who Terrence Brooks, the only reason he flipped to us was the suggestion or the rumor that a defensive coordinator was about to leave. So this defensive coordinator legitimately just fucked off and left, and they experienced zero attrition from the recruiting class and added a 5-star. What?
Yeah.
Anyway, mean, there's all the evidence you fucking need. Like, come on, context clues.
Anyway, buddy. They have the number 1 class. Texas right now coming from the fucking top rope, right? They had fallen from grace. It was barely a top 10 class. It may, like, arguably wasn't a top 10 class. They were sitting pretty much outside the top 10. And then Quinn Ewers, who, by the way, loves chicken fried steak.
Who doesn't? We're in Texas.
I love chicken fried steak. Fucking chicken fried steak.
Absolutely.
Awesome. We ate enough chicken fried steak to summon our savior, Quinn Ewers. So he joined the team.
Ewers are bust, baby. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm about to bust.
Dude. So we had some offensive line, 5-star off, 2 offensive 5-stars on the offensive line, the commit, then Quinn Ewers, then we had the Terrence Brooks flip, then
the big ass kid from Westlake. We got the Xavier Bryce from
Burke
Oklahoma.
Flip.
Yep.
Yeah. So there was some major flippage. It was flipness.
Yeah.
It was flipness. And those flips were big flips. And so they not only took away from other teams that were ahead in the rankings of Texas, but it allowed Texas to climb all the way to basically the consensus number 4 class in the nation.
Yep. And big stuff coming too.
Right. There's a couple more coming. And they're still adding from the transfer portal. So in Sark's last press conference, everybody's worried about these numbers. It seems like Sark does not give a fuck.
Numbers.
We went from 32. We went from 32 new scholarship players up to 36. Fucking next time it's probably going to be 45. Fucking overhauling the roster by any legal means necessary. Like, if you fucking decide to post pictures of fucking a girl in Oklahoma, which you probably shouldn't do without consent.
Don't do that.
You're gonna be off the fucking team because we don't need shit like that.
Get in the fucking portal. Get in the
like
motherfucker.
This awesome guy from Ohio State.
Get in the motherfucker. Yeah.
Get in the motherfucker.
Yeah. Ryan Watts, we got out of the portal today, about an hour ago when you're listening to this. Probably immediate starter at cornerback. This is the 3rd time in like the past 2 weeks we've rated Ohio State, which is fucking great. I mean, and we haven't even really waxed poetic on Quinn Ewers and how confident we were at times. Hey, we're getting him. Hey, we're not. Hey, we got him. And people forget this guy he's the only perfect recruiting ranked quarterback outside of Vincent Young. Yes. I want that.
Yeah, you heard that right. Yeah.
I did not misspeak. He's a perfect ranking as a prospect. And he's here. And he's at Texas. And he's going to put up 11 fucking billion yards. If Casey Thompson had his clip pierced, I don't even want to know what kind of Prince Albert shit Quinn Ewers is working with.
So, good segue. Casey Thompson, thanks and bye.
Especially your fucking dad. Peace off, you Sooner piece of shit. Fuck him. Fuck off to prison. You can bleep that. Or don't. I don't fucking care. Fuck you, Charles Thompson, you piece of shit. Fuck you. He's the one that fed Brian Jones all that bullshit about, race and all that kind of shit. It wouldn't shock me if he was feeding into some of the Eyes of Texas bullshit. He's a piece of shit Sooner, and he always fucking was. Casey Thompson, this is his 3rd goddamn time he's hit the fucking transfer portal. Goodbye. Thank you for your service. Goodbye. Good fucking luck. You will not be missed, mainly because of your shitty fucking father. Fuck off.
And then we also have more transfer portal news. So as of this, right, just staying on Casey for a tad bit longer. Casey Thompson has not landed anywhere else. So all of the actual, there's been some really good quarterbacks hit the portal. All of those said quarterbacks, even Spencer Rattler, who insta got in the portal.
South Carolina.
But that, within a week, they have found a landing spot. There's no clear landing spot for Casey Thompson.
Caleb Williams is going to
TCU,
Miami.
But I don't know that he wins the starting job at TCU.
I want Casey Thompson to go to OU. I want Casey Thompson to go to OU really bad. Really bad. Really bad. I want Caleb Williams to fuck off to Miami, which has been rumored. And I want Casey Thompson to go to OU, and I want to skull fuck him in front of his dad on the football field, not in a weird way. You can bleep that, whatever. Yeah. No,
this is Surly Horns podcast. We're about it. About
honestly, I don't know where he ends up. I figured I actually pegged him for NC State maybe.
Here's the thing. The problem is that nobody's calling. I don't think anybody's calling. I don't think that this is a situation where it's like definitely not like Quinn Ewers where everybody's calling. Everybody was calling Quinn Ewers.
Fuck you, Tech. We got him, bitch.
We did. So similar situation, right? A guy that we're bummed to see leave. He graduated, just like Casey, and he decided that he was going to hit the portal, even though he was getting playing time, and I don't know, he was fit the scheme a little bit. So, but Jared Wiley, tight end for Texas, is leaving Texas, and we're
going to take a 5-second break, and we're going to insert Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony right here. See you at the crossroads, you won't be lonely. Well, I guess he's a second burn in that left because Cade ran out of eligibility. But yeah.
And so I don't know.
Best of luck, Jared.
Yeah, good luck. But
your dad's probably cool.
I don't know where are you going.
I think this was not a pure Jared Wiley decision, same as the Casey Thompson thing. I think it was a more get in the motherfucker thing. So I don't know. I don't think Jared's a bad guy. From all of our experiences with him, he's been a great fellow. I think, and I don't think it was a personality getting the motherfucker. I think it was more of a, hey, look, we have these young guys. We have a full tight end room. You're not going to get the playing time. If you want to make the NFL, go somewhere you're going to get more playing time, is my guess. And I actually think Jared's going to have a better soft landing spot than people think. Like, I think he could do better than a TCU. If you told me he went to an Auburn or something like that, flex out the tight end kind of deal, I don't think he fit Sark's scheme very well. Obviously he wasn't the greatest blocker, which I do think his shoulder injury played a part of that. But I do think that he's a good receiver, and I think he was underutilized as a. I would love to see him go to an offense that utilized him more. Go to a Pac school, go to fucking Oregon, man, or go to hell. He would actually do really good at Tech. I don't want to see him at Tech, but I think he'd actually do pretty fucking good there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. But again, I think a situation where Texas, for better or for worse, has not had I don't think anybody that's entered the transfer portal from Texas has landed anywhere.
Tyler Owens landed at Texas Tech, but that was forever ago. Other than that, Adamora hasn't found a spot. BJ Foster hasn't found a spot. Casey, Jared. I feel like there are a couple. Yeah, Avante Woodard, Marcus Caldwell. Like I don't know where all these kids are going to land. There are so many names in that goddamn portal too.
Yeah, there's over 1,000. Yeah, it's still in the portal right now, and who knows where they're going to go. But there's only so many top tier Power 5 schools, and there's only so many needs at those schools that they're not filling with really great recruiting classes or highly sought after transfers.
Some of these kids, if they want to play, they're going to have to drop down to the FCS level, not even the G5 level. But if you told me Marcus Caldwell ended up at Sam Houston State, it wouldn't shock me in the slightest. If you really want to play and you really want to play football and you don't just want to go and play school or, just be comfortable being a depth piece for however long your eligibility runs out, then it's G5 FCS is what you're looking at for a lot, and not just Texas guys, a lot of guys.
So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about a controversial recruiting decision that had lots of misinformation about NIL swirling about it. And we know something about misinformation about NIL and how people love to associate NIL deals with things that aren't really associated with it. But Travis Hunter, number one, because Quinn Ewers is technically a 2021 recruit. He's not a 22 recruit. But the consensus number one, number two guy in Travis Hunter, cornerback, same build, same,
Deion.
same athletic build, same. Basically, he's young Deion. And instead of Florida State, chooses what is it? Jackson State.
Jackson State. Yeah, the first ever historically black college to receive a 5-star.
Any 5-star, but this is like the 5-star.
And he is the number one recruit in the nation. And anybody that believed the stupid fucking Adarn Schefter, it wasn't Adam Schefter, it was some bull that he got a $1.5 million deal from Barstool. Okay, so number one, guys. Number one, for anybody that believed that, you cannot have an NIL deal until these guys are enrolled in school and on campus at any university. So it doesn't have to be the university that you want. It's because you're engaging in a contract with the player, not a player complicit with them being on the roster at a university. So number one, you can't do that. So even if he signs this letter of intent, you cannot sign him to a fucking $1 million deal. Number two, his head coach is employed by Barstool Sports. There's no way that the head coach of a football team who is currently employed by somebody to, if fucking Joey McGuire was an employee of Double Eagle in Lubbock, there is no way in hell they would allow an NIL deal for that player. It's total bullshit. It's ridiculously stupid. It is like the dumbest thing. Do I think he's going to?
It's like people can't believe that Deion Sanders, literally the greatest player of all time to play cornerback. Like it's undisputed. It's not close. He is the best cornerback of all time, and he probably will be. He will be forever. Until Travis Hunter, maybe, if he's really good and learns a lot from Deion, takes the title away from him. And that's how generationally incredible Deion Sanders was at the position that this kid, who's definitely going to go to the NFL, he wants to learn from the guy. There's only one guy you can learn how to be Deion from, and that's Deion.
And I bet you Florida State is already regretting their decision to not interview Deion Sanders for their head coaching job. And now at this point, 2 years from now, Mike Norvell just signed another year extension for some ungod knows. Why are these schools extending these guys that are just fucking garbage? I guess vote of confidence. It's just why? It's so stupid. But anyway, I think Deion gets an interview next time when there's another fucking opening at Florida State. And do you think Travis Hunter would follow him if he still has eligibility? You're goddamn right. You're goddamn fucking right. I think it's good. I think it's cool. I think it's badass. I think
it's awesome as well. I don't think that the kid cares. Yeah. It doesn't. He's like, they'll win fucking championships. If you want to talk about championships and things that you can do, they're a championship caliber team in the league that they play in. Right? Yep. They're not going to be the Alabama or the whatever, but fucking Florida State isn't either. So it's between two teams. One's going to definitely win championships. You're going to be at a historically black college and university. You're going to learn from Deion, and if Deion gets picked up by anyone, you have a fucking insta transfer. He's taking you with him wherever he goes.
My favorite part about all of this is if you took Florida State tomorrow and you took Jackson State tomorrow, what do you think the spread would be? Because it's for sure less than 2. I would say I'm going 16.5. Florida State minus 16.5. Don't forget they lost to an FCS school already this year.
I don't know, man.
Jackson State got upset in the FCS playoffs. Otherwise, they were rolling. They were a good fucking team, and Florida State is ass terrible.
I mean, they were very bad. They were very bad.
They were worse than us.
Very bad. They were very bad. They were horrible.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Texas was real bad. Made a great recruiting class. I think some of that had to do with the new coach bump. Like some of that had to do with just incredible timing of the Cristobal leaving and the implosion at OU and the defensive coordinator leaving and then hiring Oklahoma State's guy. Like there was this like perfect storm of events that happened the week leading up to National Signing Day that just led to a monster recruiting class for Texas. And this is why you don't give up on recruits until signing day, right? And the flips can happen. And maybe they verbally happened before and right they didn't really happen, to the public or anybody else until then. But these coaches are for real. Except for the ones that are not, who are now fired. Coleman, bye.
See ya. About fucking time. About goddamn time. I don't even care who we bring in.
They gave him a shot, right? They said, you've got targets. If you can land your targets, looking at you, Terry Joseph, if you can land your targets, you get to stay.
One landed them, one didn't. And it doesn't matter who we bring in, it's going to be an upgrade. There can't be, unless it's Drew fucking Maringer again. There's no way we don't upgrade that wide receiver position. The wide receivers had a big old case of the drops. They couldn't get out of press coverage. I mean, the fact that Worthy did what he did was in spite of Coleman. Do not let anybody fool you. That guy is a massive fucking fraud. And Sark, big strike against him for not realizing it when he joined the fucking staff. He even said he tried to hire him at a bunch of different spots. It's like, well, first of all, I hope you're fucking lying. And number two, well, I hope you realized your big fucking mistake because we signed one wide receiver recruit. One.
It's pretty bad. There's rumors that we'll get a couple of decent takes in the upcoming wave of very high level talent coming in the post bowl transfer portal. So there is the pre signing day portal, there's the post signing day portal, and then there's the post bowl game portal, and then there's the right after spring camp portal. And so we'll see what happens in this next portal cycle, but this is where the biggest names that have lots of eligibility left. These aren't the 1 year guys. The guys that are leaving after the bowl game are playing the bowl game to make a statement, and they are going to go start somewhere else who is also probably in either a great bowl game or that has something going on that they really like. And hopefully Texas has a really good story for some of these wide receivers, and they can point at Xavier. Xavier has been an incredible recruiting asset, especially in the Quinn Ewers recruitment. A lot of good things from that guy, and it's really cool to see that 22 class come in and be full of piss and vinegar. They're dogs, all these guys. They are. And I'm excited about what we can see. We won't really know until the spring game.
Breaking news.
That's how things.
Breaking news from Brent Zwerneman. You guys might know him as the Aggie fucking honk media reporter that reported the SEC, Texas and OU joining the SEC because he's an A&M mouthpiece. He just tweeted out, Texas A&M not only had no scholarship quarterbacks available, but walk-on Blake Bost also was not available for Gator Bowl because of COVID-19. Wide receiver Anus Smith, that's his name is Anus, could have tried running option offense as quarterback, but he still has an injured foot. Well, Blake Bost, that walk-on quarterback that he said had COVID-19, quote tweeted him with his negative test. 3 negative tests in a row from today. And then did the curious monocle emoji looking guy. So he just got dunked on, basically proving that A&M is trying everything they can to cover themselves up in the media and get out of this bowl game, even though they were perfectly fine to play this fucking game.
I
dunked on.
I just, it's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. You know, Texas isn't playing in a bowl game either, and that's embarrassing. But they didn't forfeit a bowl game because their team imploded, and then their coaching staff bailed.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Fuck you, A&M. Fuck you forever. Let's talk about some food.
Let's talk about everybody's favorite segment, the Fat Boy Minute. So we've
missed a couple Fat Boy minutes. We got to make up for it. So we're going to talk about food for at least 15 minutes.
We've got a blitz. We've got a Fat Boy blitz.
A Fat Boy hour. We're just going to talk for 7 hours about fucking
we may just cut all of we may put everything that you just heard is going to be at 2.5x speed so that we can talk about food.
We'll do a part 1 and a part 2. Part 2 is just nothing but diabetes.
So we're going to start with Christmas foods, and that's open to anything that means to you. Whatever that means to you. How does Christmas tickle your belly?
So I am a massive Thanksgiving guy. I'm a massive Christmas guy. I'm here for the classics, but I'm actually hosting this year. So this is actually my first year to host my entire fucking family, all like 25 people or whatever. I got me a Snake River Farms Wagyu brisket that I'll be smoking. I got I got me a boneless turkey breast that I'll be doing brisket style, salt and pepper on it, fuck ton of butter. I'm probably going to brine it and inject it too. The whole thing, it's just going to be a mouthful of butter every time you bite into it. Salt, pepper, and butter. That's all it's going to. So very excited to that. But then, I'm here for the mac and cheeses. I'm here for the mashed potatoes. If we're talking sweets, I'm a gingerbread cookie guy. I love gingerbread cookies. Yeah, so I got them at. My wife sent me to Whole Foods today. Don't worry, I'm not normally one of those guys that goes to Whole Foods. That's where she gets her protein powder or whatever. So that's the only place I can fucking go. But
have you ever eaten so many gingerbread cookies that you got heartburn?
Well, I get heartburn from like everything. I take a Pepcid every single morning. So, but they had fresh baked gingerbread cookies that they had put out like the good stuff. Like, when it's in like the plastic container that they have to do like the vacuum seal on, like it's not prepackaged. They were the softest gingerbread cookies I've ever eaten in my entire life. They were so good. I ate the entire fucking box, every single one of them.
So, my family, for whatever reason, I'm not a huge Christmas guy. I'm like the Grinch, but I'll do Christmas. I love the food around Christmas.
We're opposite.
We inherited a lot of my wife's family tradition, and one of their family traditions is the 24th plays a much larger role in the Christmas thing than the 25th. So the presents are all open except for Santa's presents. Santa's presents come the 25th, but you open everything else the night of the 24th. And before that, you have, like a Dr. Seuss Christmas. And so you have the big dinner the night before.
The roast beast.
And, yeah. And so I am going to get as high a grade of a standing rib roast as I can.
Nice.
Tomorrow. So if I can find a grade 7 or grade 8 Wagyu, I'm buying it. If I can only find a really nice prime one, I guess I'll settle for that. But I am on the hunt tomorrow in Austin, and I'm going to hit up all the nice butcher shops and everything, and I'm going to find the nicest standing rib roast.
How are you gonna cook it?
And so I make my own creme fraiche like horseradish creme fraiche.
Oh yeah.
And so I've got that sitting on the counter right now with the cultured buttermilk and the cream and everything else, and it will turn into creme fraiche. And then I mix in the prepared horseradish and a little bit of salt and smoked salt, pepper, and prepared horseradish. And that's a really, really great creme fraiche horseradish sauce that goes on the side. Then for the roast beef piece of it, I do like half a cup of extra virgin olive oil, and just a fuckload, just like handfuls of rosemary, and then
all that flavor.
a couple, like 4 cloves of garlic minced, well, just thrown into the blender, right? Whole, you can mince them before and just throw them into the food processor, and like salt, pepper, and a little bit of right red pepper flake and stuff like that. Just general steak seasoning blend, and you put that in the food processor, and it comes out as this like great paste, and you just fucking slather it all over that bitch, and then I let it kind of hang out in the fridge with all that stuff on it to where it gets a little bit dry, and it's almost like a pickle, and then I smoke it at 275 with oak and pecan until it gets to an internal of about 112 to 115 depending on the piece of meat, and then I pull it off and I get that fire, just all coals, and get all the ash off of it, and I just get that fire going,
blast it
as hot as it will get, and then I just throw the fucking thing in the fire. I just throw it on the coals.
Oh yeah,
and just throw that bitch on the coals, and I have these heat resistant gloves, and I flip it, every 45 seconds for about 2 minutes, get it all super charred on the outside, and then let it rest for about 30 minutes. And then it'll come up to 125, usually somewhere between 122 and 125 is where I like the center of that to get to. And then you cut that bitch, and it's knife tender, and there's no gray meat, right? I mean, there's no gray at all on any of. I know that there's some people that like to do the roast thing, and you get gray pieces on the outside or whatever. If you want some of that, I'll throw it back on the grill for you and get it a little bit more well done.
I'll ask them to leave. Yeah, I will ask them to leave. You will get it out.
But
fucking cook it.
The low temp smoke, right, combined with the rub, and then that really hard sear, all kind of combine to really just make a really cool, awesome roast beef. And then we're gonna do some scalloped potatoes that are just like insane. And that, you're right. So great, right? Good big dinner, the 24th. But the 25th is all about relaxing and opening Santa's gifts and enjoying Christmas Day. And then what's easier and lighter, because you've been eating so heavily, than king crab legs.
Oh, crab legs. I wasn't ready for that.
King crab legs for dinner. And it could be an early dinner. I think we're doing, it's more like a dinner, right? 4-ish, 3:34. Yeah, and we've got 15 pounds of Alaskan king crab legs that we will steam and eat, right? Just dip in butter and enjoy that way. Just real simple,
always
super easy.
And, we do. Shout out tamales too. If we're talking Christmas foods, I love a good
We're gonna do that. Tamale. Tamales while we open presents. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the best. Yeah, tamale. For some reason, we always end up cinnamon rolls, tamales, and some form of mimosa or some kind of champagne. That I just start at like 8 in the morning when the kids are opening presents, and just don't stop until it's all gone. And then I switch to bourbon. I got me a bottle of Blanton's that I'm going to be cracking open, which I'm very excited about.
So I got my kid. I got my kid a Power Wheel. It's not a Power Wheels. It's just, everybody knows them as Power Wheels. It's a ride-on car, toy. But my son is 2, and he's obsessed with cars. But I don't know that he could drive. Number one. Number 2, and second, is crazy. Is not only can he maybe not drive, but this thing that I bought him, I live like out in the country, and there's not really any pavement that is acceptable for a young person that
it can go unsupervised on, because it's all like all my pavement leads to road, and road has fast cars.
Yeah, and those cars
so
are
that's
fucking
instant
flying.
toddler death.
Yeah.
And so everything that he's going to be doing is like the woods, and like I have a mostly flat lot, but it's all grass and rocks, and we live out in the fucking country. And so I got him a 24 volt one, which are, they're more powerful. They don't get stuck, whatever. And I ordered him like this off-road ruggedized one, and it's like what it is it's a Mercedes-Benz Unimog one. And I didn't realize, I thought, like that's cute. It's like the G-Wagons that you see in Target, but like it's not as douchey as the G-Wagon. It's like what I thought. It got here, and it's fucking huge. Like I can ride in it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Good thing you got a 2-year-old doing it.
Yeah, it has 2 seats. It has a fucking remote control. The thing is fucking insane. So I think he's gonna love that on Christmas. He may not get any tamales because he's just gonna be fucking riding that shit all morning.
Oh yeah, I don't blame him. I probably would too. Yeah, we got our kids a kitchen set and a bunch of Minnie Mouse stuff, a water table. I don't know, just a bunch of little shit. Nothing big and crazy and murderous like that.
This was accidental. This was not. Yeah, I mean, I knew it was like
it's a manslaughter, not a homicide. I love it.
Yeah. So going from Christmas to probably the 26th of December, I usually have a pretty big hangover the 26th. Usually I get a little cheery, a little jolly, maybe drink half a fifth of rum in my eggnog on accident. So
that seems light, honestly.
Seems like normal. So what is your go-to Christmas hangover?
Leftovers. Whatever's left over, it doesn't matter. And I'm gonna make the craziest concoction of all time. So like I'm already gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna have a brisket grilled cheese on the 26th. I already bought a sourdough loaf. I'm gonna fucking paste that bitch in butter. Just cheese it to out the fucking gourd. I'll put a little barbecue sauce in there, do a little chopped brisket, some of the fatty, maybe a little burn end in there too, and then just as much cheese as I can stuff in the motherfucker, and then just baste it with butter the whole time. Yeah. I'll probably have 2 or 3 of those. Maybe a little brisket nachos, brisket quesadilla, whatever's left over. I got a 19-pound brisket, so we'll see how much is actually left over. I always talk a big game, and then everybody wants to take some shit home, and I end up with nothing but the driest part of the flat. So you can't exactly.
Well, there's no driest part of a flat in the fucking Wagyu brisket, bro.
Yeah, that's true. So, that's true.
I like doing the same thing, and I have Hawaiian rolls, and I'm gonna finally shave whatever is left of the prime rib.
Oh yeah.
And make like prime rib sliders with provolone, and cream and that creme fraiche, and some onion, some some caramelized onions.
Oh
and just that will be, just all you do is put it in a pan. You just line the bottom of the pan, like you just rub butter all over it. You put the Hawaiian rolls in, then you just put the shaved ribeye. You don't detach any of them, right? You just put the shaved ribeye all over. You just throw the provolone all on top. You have the caramelized onions mostly done. You just dump those on top of the cheese, and then you put that in and just let it get warm, basically in the oven. You put it, in the oven 350.
Wait to see that 10, 15 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, cheese gets bubbly. The rest of those onions kind of like cook. And then you take it out, dab some of the creme fraiche on it, top it off, and bam.
Hey, but number one thing that I'm going to have when I'm hungover on the 26th is actually just going to be more alcohol. I don't have to do shit on the 27th on that Monday. So probably just going to get re-drunk. That's usually the best way to get past it.
So it's, all the good bowl games, or all the bowl games that like actually are worth a shit, start the day after Christmas, right? We're I guess we're a good 12 or 15 or who knows, a lot of games in already. We've had a lot of games.
I haven't watched the one.
And not one of them. Not one of them was any good. I haven't heard anybody like, oh, did you see the blah 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 blah? It's like no one gives a single fuck about anything that's going on until after Christmas. So the first one that I really see that I want to watch is Houston Auburn, and that's on the 28th. And then the really good one, they start then that same day. You've got Mississippi State, Texas Tech, and then UCLA, NC State. I'll watch all three of those games. Oh, and give me West Virginia, Minnesota to cap off the night.
Yeah,
but sign me up for the 28th. Right, I'm in for college football on the 28th. What do we got going on the 29th? We got SMU, Virginia. Don't really care. Probably won't watch that game. Maybe. Maryland, Vatech. Won't watch that game either. Nope. Probably don't care. Then we get Clemson, Iowa State. Definitely watching that game.
Yeah, I want to see that. That'll be interesting.
And then Oregon, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
A good night game. Just down the road at the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio. So
they stole our bowl.
Could be a nice little evening of football there, but pretty shitty morning and afternoon. And then on the 30th, you got North Carolina, South Carolina, which I'm definitely watching for the lulz and Mac Brown, right? Just to watch Butterteeth lose.
Yep.
To a terrible South Carolina team.
That'd be great. South Carolina. I wish Spencer Rattler could play. That'd be even better.
Tennessee, surprisingly, a really good season this year for Tennessee. For like what happened.
All right. Yep.
Yeah, they turned it around, and they're playing Purdue, who this game would have been a lot more interesting had their pretty badass quarterback not hit the transfer portal already.
Yeah.
So probably going to skip out on that game, but it would have otherwise been a good game. Then you got Michigan State Pitt, ACC champion versus or I don't know if they won or not. Pitt played Wake Forest won, didn't they?
Wake won. Yeah. Yep.
So Pitt, good team, right? Whatever. They're solid.
We're getting their
Michigan
wide receiver.
State's going to blow them out, but I'll watch that game probably. It's the
watch it until it gets shitty.
Yeah. And then you got Wisconsin, Arizona State. Don't even bother. Don't fucking watch that game. Trash.
It's gonna be boring.
So then we've got Wake Forest versus TBD, looking like Rutgers. Because 8 and forfeit is out of that game.
That's so good. That has to be the title of the podcast. That's so good.
Then we've got Wazoo and Miami, the battle of the R words. Miami may be good next season. They're not good this season. And so who's even interim head coach? Like Cristobal's not going to be like, oh yeah, I'll coach the bowl game. So I don't know who coaches that game.
Yeah,
it's going to be weird. Probably not going to watch that game. Central Michigan, Boise State, definitely not watching that game. That's going to suck. And then we get into the good games. Cincinnati, Alabama. Who do you have in the Cincy
Alabama is going to fucking mud stomp them.
Yeah, I think first and last. Well, I don't know. Cincinnati's going to be Power 5 if Big 12 is still considered Power 5 whenever all that happens.
Yeah.
But they're G5. This will be the last time G5 team gets in.
Yeah, they're just going to get absolutely murdered.
G5 team may not even be included in the expanded playoffs. That's how bad I think this is going to be.
Yeah. 55-14 Alabama.
Yeah. Then we got Georgia, Michigan. Going to be a really crazy game. I think Michigan pulls it out just because, season tickets and shit. But I honestly toss up. It's a coin toss.
I'm going to say Georgia wins in a close-ish game. It's probably going to be closer than the final score dictates. I'm going to go Georgia 24-16. But they play within a field goal-ish or so for, 3 quarters.
That's going to be a really nice evening of football. And then January 1st, the best bowl day, really. It's always the best day of football except for opening day in like Texas
Red
OU.
River.
Really.
Yeah.
Right?
Red River.
Like that's it. So we start out the day with Penn State, Arkansas. Definitely watching that game. That's going to be a great game.
Yeah, that should be good.
Like Arkansas, super shocked at the season that they've had. They play fucking hard. Penn State also plays fucking hard. And I think that's just going to be a brutal bashing of each other's teams game.
Yeah,
then you get Kentucky, who disappointing season for them, still a pretty good team against Iowa. Same story for them. Start off really strong, get to the conference championship game, get fucking run out of the stadium. That's going to be a really good smash mouth football game as well. Then you get Notre Dame, Oklahoma State. Is Oklahoma State going to shit its pants 2 games in a row?
Yeah, I'm taking Notre Dame in that one.
I'm taking Notre Dame as well.
Yeah, they lost their defensive coordinator.
I think Gundy's fucked. I think this was his only shot, and I think he fucked it.
Yeah, I could see that. And then we can get into this in the next podcast, but he also recruited a fucking kid that was guilty of manslaughter. So I don't know if you've even seen that story, but yeah, they signed a kid that just pled guilty to manslaughter. He was driving 104 miles an hour and hit a pedestrian, which awesome. Good job, Mike. Killing it.
Yeah, Notre Dame wins that game, but still good, worth the watch, right? I mean, worth the watch. Sure. It's actually kind of a bummer that game is the same time as the Iowa-Kentucky game. I think they're both going to be good games.
Yep, agreed.
Then we've got the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl game, presented by Capital One. That's the actual official name of the bowl now. It's not just the Rose Bowl game. It's the Rose Bowl game presented by Capital. Who knows? Maybe they need the sponsor. But it is Ohio State and Utah. So Ohio State looking to avenge their Oregon loss because Utah fucked Oregon twice. Hard.
Yep.
And so in some strange reality, Ohio State can be okay with themselves if they beat Utah in this Rose Bowl game. I think they're coming to play. I think they've got something to prove. I don't think they like the way that their season ended with the Michigan game, and they had to sit at home and watch Michigan beat an Iowa team that they also would have beat, and Michigan's in their playoff spot. And I think Ohio State's pissed off about it. I think, their boy didn't win the Heisman. He's pissed off about that. And they're going to come out ready to play, and we'll see what Cam Rising and the Utes have to say about that.
Yeah, I think Ohio State fucking waxes that ass, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Utah always gets up for some. They always get up for games like this. The Oregon game being an example of that.
Oh, dude! And then the Sugar Bowl is Ole Miss and Baylor, the Big 12 championship. Baylor Bears
should have been us.
Fucking, I hate Baylor, but they are the Big 12 champions. They're the rightful rulers of the kingdom for now.
That could have been us. We should be there. We should be doing the Surly Horns podcast on Bourbon Street on New Year's Day.
Yeah. And then fucking Ole Miss. Wow. The season that they've had is remarkable, right? I mean,
they lost their rape enabling offensive coordinator. Fuck you, Jeff Lebby, you piece of shit.
Yeah. But he's out, right? He's gone.
Yeah.
So, but Lane Kiffin going to be calling the place anyway, so doesn't matter.
Doesn't fucking matter.
And they high flying offense versus Baylor, who somehow has figured out a way to fucking defense their way to a champion. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Baylor gets fucking run out of the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, I keep saying it, but
they won't even drink their sorrows away because they're a bunch of fucking Baptists. Yep. So I think they just drive home
They drive to the game and then drive home after because they were a bunch of Baptists.
That's so I grew up Presbyterian, and my dad always told the joke is how do you know the difference between a Presbyterian and a Baptist? And it's a Presbyterian will shake your hand in line at the liquor store.
And then to round out the regular season of bowls is LSU, who got bowl eligible, but Ogre does not get to coach. Doesn't get to coach against Kansas State. I don't understand why this game is on January 4th on a Tuesday. I don't understand, but I'll watch it. Right, that's going to be the last football game that we're going to get for a week, and then we get the national championship on January 10th. It's going to be Alabama and Michigan, and I've got to choose Georgia Michigan again, but I think Alabama actually wins. Or I think
Alabama, Georgia, Alabama wins it again. Alabama, Georgia, Alabama wins it 31-21.
I don't know. I think Michigan wins.
I would love to see it. I'm rooting for Michigan. That's who I want.
I think Michigan winning a national championship out of fucking nowhere would be awesome. That would be chef's kiss on this fucking insane season.
Stupid.
Insane season of college
fucking
football.
Stupid. It's been so goddamn. And then we'll be back here next. And hey, so just because football season's kind of winding down, it doesn't mean your friends at the Sterling Horton podcast are. Not only do we have some really cool stuff that you've probably already witnessed, but we will have a lot of cool stuff for the podcast as well. We have to do basically all of the burn ends need to do their podcast appearance in the off season, because we don't want to do that shit during the season and take 30-45 minutes of their fucking life. So be prepared for a lot of cool shit coming your way, including the happy
episodes. That's 6 episodes rolling up to the spring game. Gonna be a lot of fun. Be a lot of fun.
Yeah, maybe we'll do another live stream of the spring game, or can we tailgate the spring game? Just do that.
We can.
We should do that.
It's been great. We're excited we're gonna get back on schedule.
Yep.
We don't have any more tricks up our sleeves that
yet
will take that will take us away from our dear listeners for as long as we were distracted with this last thing. But we will talk to you guys and talk at you gals and girls soon.
Our family. Talk to our family. Hook 'em.
Hook 'em.